Hey YouTube, Jim here. Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Today we're talking about swimming. It seems like there sure are a lot of rules and regulations around it. For example, you can't eat and swim. You can't take a dip naked most of the time. But most of all, people love to put up the well-recognized no swimming sign. Sure, sometimes it's for our own good. Sharks, rip currents, or frightening holes are probably a good thing to avoid if you can, despite how nice that water may look. Which is what brings us to 10 places that you should never swim. But before we get started, why not become an archivist today by clicking that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. If you end up enjoying this video, let us know by giving it a thumbs up. And in the comments section, tell us where you would love to swim the most.
Number 10. Fraser Island in Australia. Oh, Australia, home of all things frightening. They just make it look so appealing though, don't they? With their beautiful beaches, gorgeous people, rich history and all, it makes it hard to accept that it's just too easy to die there. Especially here at Fraser Island, where going anywhere near the water is going to be dangerous. You can't swim here because, well, you'll probably die. If it's not the currents that get you, how about the sharks that await, or the poisonous jellyfish that might bump into you at almost a moment's notice? Think you'll make it back onto the sand? Your worries aren't over. There you'll find marine crocodiles, dangerous spiders, and even dingoes. Why do people even visit this island? What is this, kind of an extreme sport of some kind? Oh well. Number 9. Horseshoe Lake in California. Horseshoe Lake sounds like a place you go with your family, all wearing cowboy hats and boots, kick back with some brews, barbecue, and have a great time for the 4th of July. Actually, it's a death trap. You really shouldn't bring your swimsuit to Horseshoe Lake because the volcanoes that erupted in the area in the late 80s and early 90s released carbon dioxide gas that sits in the lake to this day. Back in the day, it killed hundreds of trees and wildlife. Anyone who comes too close is really rolling the dice on this decades-old death pit of water. Number 8. The Ganges River in India. Ah, the Ganges, the holiest body of water in the area. So you would think people are literally jumping at the chance to get in. They say if you do get in, you'll be healed or your problems will be solved. However, if you choose to get in, you're actually exposing your body to a lot of toxins from pollution. Locals don't mind at all, they're covered by their beliefs. So, unless your beliefs are paying for the hospital visit or funeral costs, maybe skip the dip. Number 7. The Samin Hole. This hole is named after the fishing village located near it. This site is 280 feet deep and used for diving off the southern coast of Thailand. So far, it's one of many, right? The tricky part is that oil tankers constantly pass on the surface and the currents in the water are unexpectedly strong. You'll also find barracudas, the frightening fish that set off the whole plot of Finding Nemo. And as you get deeper, it just gets worse because visibility will be a joke and you won't even see what's coming, which could be any of the above threats or any of the undetonated bombs dropped there by the US Navy years ago. Those barracudas sound almost cute next to potentially being blown to smithereens. Number 6. The Nile River. Everyone knows the Nile River. It's biblical for Pete's sake. However, not all things biblical are safe. In fact, if we think about hard slave labor, locusts, disease, leprosy, there's a lot to fear in scriptures. However, the Nile River is a very specific place you want to add to your now growing list of do not swim here or you'll die places. You'll find so many crocodiles, you'll never know how you didn't spot them in the first place. They're sneaky fellows. In fact, hundreds of people are attacked annually. Number 5. The Amazon Basin. The Amazon is exactly as exotic as it's been sold to you in movies. Maybe even more so if you can believe it. Unless you know exactly what you're doing, you really shouldn't swim in the Amazon. The biodiversity is beautiful, but it can kill you so quickly you won't even know what happened. Among many other reasons why it's dangerous, just picture the following: red-bellied piranhas, electric eels more powerful than an actual outlet, and tiny fish that can swim up your urethra called kindiru. What sounds more painful to you? Number 4. Reunion Island. No, not the place where the Jeffersons had their cookout last summer, but the world's #1 shark attack zone located off the coast of Madagascar. See, what I don't get is why, despite the place having this name, people still go there. It's as if you walked up to a person with the name Most Undateable Person and still asked for their number. Like, it's right there in the name. Anyway, sharks have migrated to this area to feed due to the large fish population. However, with fish come fishermen, as well as other people who, for whatever reason, get in these waters. As of late 2018, there have been 27 fatal attacks and 56 total attacks since 1913, and the island was responsible for over 16% of the world's fatal shark attacks from 2011 through 2016. Number 3. Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria, Africa's largest lake by area, the world's largest tropical lake, and the world's second largest freshwater lake by surface area after Lake Superior in North America, is also home to one of the highest death tolls per year for a body of water. Of the people that visit it annually, around 5,000 of them will die there. It has its very own climate, so while one moment you're relaxing in the mild sun, the next you could be under some severe weather. If you were to get caught in the water like that, you'd have a fair amount of work to do to get through the debris and other natural objects displaced by the rough waters just to get back to shore. Number 2. The Strigg in Yorkshire. If you're one to play on chances, let us assure you that at this place, the house always wins. Nobody is putting on their swimsuits, or as the British would say, their cozies, to get in here. The invisible currents dwelling just under the surface is going to throw you hard against the rocks that you can barely see. So, despite being beautiful enough to take a selfie in front of, keep your distance because it has no mercy. Number 1. Hanakapi'a Beach. Every paradise has its downside. Hawaii's is Hanakapi'a Beach, which is definitely not for swimming. If you stumble upon this while taking the road less traveled, know that it's solitary for a reason. This beach is located on Kauai-Napali coast in a very isolated and difficult-to-reach area, so if you swim here, voluntarily or otherwise, there isn't much of a chance you'll make it. The rip currents could pull you out like a rag doll, with enough strength to take even the strongest of swimmers. The beach has no reef, so the shores are completely unprotected and the currents are almost guaranteed. In fact, more people have drowned here than at any other beach on the island, and many of the bodies have never been recovered. Thanks for watching. I can think of a few other places where it's not usually safe to swim. How about you? Let us know in the comments section. But we do kindly ask you to dive right in and subscribe to the channel, click the notifications bell, and go with the flow by giving this video a thumbs up.